Well, guess what? I'm Dawn Reese, and I am back with another amazing interview. Again, I am just thrilled to be here. It's God's blessing. I always say you give God all the glory and honor and watch things happen. I got to put my tennis shoes on because He's making me run. But I'm very thankful, very grateful in my life to introduce. You are?
Ron Tilley.
That's right.
CEO of the American Basketball Association.
Now, I have some great questions for you, and I want to know, how did you start out in the business?
Well, as a young man, tried out for my college basketball team. I hadn't played basketball to that point formally, and so I was one of 36 guys that walked onto the junior college.
Wow.
And I was the only walk-on to make the team. And 5 minutes before we hit the court for the first game, my coach came up and said, "Tilley, are you ready to play?" And I said, "Yes, coach." And he looked at me and said, "Good, you're starting it off guard." And it went from there. I played 4 years of college basketball.
With who? Can I ask?
At Western Oregon
Nice. Okay.
University. And but back then in the 80s, there wasn't a lot of options apart from the NBA to play basketball.
Right.
And so they had a small league in the east of the United States called the CBA back then, and with up to a dozen teams in it. But I was a West Coast guy, and there wasn't a lot of opportunity at all back there, except for trying out for the NBA, which many of us weren't at that level. And so I wound up going to Europe and then to Australia and playing a lot of years overseas, and wound up being overseas for about 13 years.
Amazing. You know, this is so great because I interviewed half the Miami Heat over at Shaq's birthday party at the Hard Rock in Hollywood. An amazing opportunity for new people. You know, I'm in the school, and this is really important. I have a new segment which you don't even know yet. It's called Be Cool, Stay in School. And I have a lot of the kids that don't want to be actors and models. They want to be basketball players or sports stars. Any advice to new basketball players out there? And I have a lot of kids, I'm like 4,000 on my friends list on Facebook, that are going to see this, and they're going to go, how did he do that? How did I, you have to go to college. Number one is stay in school. Any advice from the heart to them?
You know, I speak to a lot of civic groups and churches and stuff as I go around the valley here in Phoenix. And one of the things I tell them is a story of a 12-year-old kid. And I knew a kid, he was 12 years old, and he loved basketball. And he tried out for a school team and he got cut. The next year he tried out again and was cut again. And when he was in high school, he tried out again and was cut again. And so that kid, 2 weeks after high school, stood at the back of his church and looked up to God and said, "God, what am I supposed to do with the rest of my life?" And that kid was me. And at that point, I knew that I was going to be a basketball player and a coach. And then the rest of the story is I walked onto my college team, made the team, and then started the first game I ever played in it off guard.
Awesome.
And so as a young boy turning into a young man, having a dream to play basketball, I encourage people to live their dreams. And it doesn't always happen the way that we anticipate it happening.
Right.
And sometimes we have to go different directions. But ultimately, if you have a dream and you pursue that dream, and God willing, you can achieve your dreams.
You need to write a book. Have you thought about writing a book about your life?
No.
Oh, the thought list is a thought list. Also, too, a lot of people will wonder, hey, I'm a great basketball player. I'd like to be a part of this ABA. How do they do that? What are the qualifications?
We have 90 teams going into this season across the nation.
Okay.
And so the qualifications are that you must be at least 18 years old, that you then can try out for a basketball team in the ABA. And so,
can they go to the website? Do you have a website?
yes,
Okay.
it's abalive.com, and they can find all kinds of teams having tryouts throughout the summer here.
Great.
And then, as I said, there's 90 teams across the nation from coast to coast, including Canada and Alaska and all over the United States.
Oh, that's great. And this will be kicking off this November? Is that right?
It goes from November to April.
Okay.
And so it's about a 6-month season. And we play anywhere from 20 some upwards to 30 games per team.
Wow, amazing. And you're here in Phoenix, Arizona, and there's a lot of opportunity here as well. And I wanted to ask you, what have you done that what have you wanted to do that you haven't done yet?
Well, we're currently negotiating to move into Grand Canyon University, which is a 5,000 seat arena, brand new facility, beautiful campus. And so we've been playing at junior colleges to this point, but I think it's time to step up the game and to really go after it here in Phoenix and try and compete against somewhat against the Suns.
Oh,
the
there
NBA.
you go. Very cool. What about some of the artists from like AMC Nashville? Would they be maybe performing at the opening? I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, we're looking at partnering with AMC Nashville and trying to get some artists to come over this way as well as throughout the league. And so doing a ABA tour.
Right.
And so we're excited about that. I think it's going to be a great thing for the communities, the cities, and the teams.
Right.
To partner with and really get some real media out there and get some exposure.
Right. I already put it on my Facebook wall. I put the whole ABA, the flyer that Rickey Lee had on his wall. Any other words that you'd like to say from the heart? Anything else that you would like to tell everybody? This is your moment.
Well, we're going to work as hard as we can to gain national sponsors, national sponsorship, really work with our teams across the nation to ensure that we have parity and that we have a lot of incentives as far as getting out in the community, doing community service, working with our partners, working with our sponsors, and working with the community to make this the pros you know.
Right. That's amazing to make, what you're doing is you're getting out there and making this happen. It's your dream come true, and I'm so excited to be a part of this as well. And I have so much more to ask you. We'll be right back. I have 1 second, and we'll be right back.